Introduction. According to Webster's dictionary, to survive means to remain alive or in existence, particularly to live on after the death of others. The fascinating thing about network marketing is that, in many instances, survival, i.e., staying in existence after others leave the business, is precisely what leads to dramatic wealth. Attrition is a considerable factor in our business. Yet we have rarely met anyone who has worked steadily in network marketing who doesn't eventually achieve success. And those rare individuals who do not succeed are usually their own worst enemies, constantly reinventing the wheel and complicating the simplest path to prosperity in the history of capitalism. Of course, priorities vary as widely as do people. While some choose network marketing as a means to an end, wealth, others simply enjoy it for its own merits. These folks join multi-level marketing to build their confidence, widen their circle of friends, and feel more productive. And in spite of the fact that they'll never earn huge incomes, you couldn't pry them away from this business with a crowbar. That kind of money was never really their goal, and you'll read many of their stories in this book. In fact, were we to double the number of stories of success, we still couldn't possibly elaborate on all the remarkable benefits to be derived by those who have chosen to participate in this wondrous industry. In network marketing, you persevere or you perish. Quitting is the one sure way to fail. Surviving the first year establishes a new distributor with a good basis for success. Our analysis shows that an estimated 95% of those who survive 10 years in network marketing become wealthy beyond their wildest expectations. These survivors have achieved either staggering financial rewards and/or total time freedom, that is, having all the free time to do the things that really matter to you with the people you love most. At this particular time in history, when traditional business offers so little security, network distribution is literally the last bastion of free enterprise. It's a system in which common people can invest a small sum and, through sheer tenacity and determination, rise to staggering levels of financial reward and personal freedom. It's a field devoid of the pitfalls of traditional business. Payroll, employee benefit costs, advertising, overhead, bookkeeping, and accounts receivable. Network marketing has an entirely different set of entrapments of its own. But once understood, these problems are easily overcome. We believe success is critically dependent on awareness from the very beginning of what these hazards are and how to overcome them. Hence this book. The network marketing industry traces its roots to the 1940s, when Nutrilite Products Incorporated launched the sale of food supplement products, and 10 years later, Amway introduced the sale of household products. Over the past 50 years, the industry has matured into a legitimate and efficient channel of distribution, ideally suited for the next wave about to break in the world of business. All we can say is thanks to Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel for having the vision to pioneer this industry. Network marketing annual sales are nearing $20 billion in the United States alone, being moved by an estimated 8 million people. Worldwide, more than $100 billion of a broad spectrum of products and services are being sold by an estimated 30 million independent network marketers. And keep in mind that we are still a very young industry with an expansive, promising future. Several studies have predicted that a third of all goods and services will be moved via network marketing in Western nations shortly after the turn of the century, and this could be as high as 50% in developing nations by the year 2110. Historically, the industry has been product-driven, selling from the traditional categories of personal care, vitamin/nutritional supplementation, home and family care, leisure, and educational products. Starting in the 1980s, services became a growing component, particularly in the deregulated telecommunications industry. Other services have included credit cards, financial services, insurance, prepaid legal services, travel, self-development, and motivational programming. With the forthcoming deregulation of the public utilities industries between 1998 and 2002, Network marketing companies are positioning themselves to enter this market as well. The evolving maturity of our industry is clearly demonstrated by the 20 network marketing companies now traded publicly on NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, and many others are preparing to go public. In order to file an initial public offering, IPO, companies must establish standardized accounting procedures and be open to Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, scrutiny and control. Therefore, those companies that do go public must establish and maintain high standards of business practices, which elevates the character of the entire network marketing community. Investors' response to the publicly traded network marketing companies has been outstanding. Upline Magazine, an industry trade publication, maintains an Upline Index that tracks the financial performance of these public network marketing companies. In 1996, this index showed an increase in stock market value for the industry of more than 63%, as compared to the Dow Jones Industrial Average increase of only 33% and the Standard & Poor's 500 index increase of 34%. This nearly twofold gain of the network marketing industry over traditional corporations has created considerable excitement among savvy investors. The average person needs as little as $200 or $300 to get started in network marketing. Included in this figure is the purchase of some widely accepted products or services to be personally used and shared with others. Our industry is based on simple word-of-mouth recommendation of products and services. Distribution moves directly from the producer to the consumer, which cuts out all the intermediate agents and dealers who have nothing to do with production or consumption. As goods are distributed, the network marketer then receives compensation equal to the advertising budget of most large corporations. We've all known for years that word of mouth is the best form of advertising. Therefore, should it not also be the most lucrative? We have recorded a couple of dozen audio tapes during our collective 20 years in network marketing, and the one that is still the most requested is entitled, "If MLM is so great, why am I so depressed?" We think the reason people enjoy that tape is because we dared to tell the truth about the pitfalls in this industry. We admitted that, in spite of our success, we both considered quitting many times during those first years. Unfortunately, many people heard that audio tape far too late in their network marketing careers, and while they enjoyed a good chuckle because they could identify with our admitted first-year problems, most had already lost their upstart enthusiasm so necessary for success. And once people lose the drive and enthusiasm to carry them through the tough months, once that excitement is gone, in many cases, so too is the chance to achieve dramatic wealth. There is an often quoted adage in this business. It's much easier to give birth to a new distributor than it is to resurrect a dead one. And yet, as the stories poured into our Swiss chalet from across the Atlantic, we realized that this book may indeed resurrect thousands of discouraged network marketers once they read some of the truthful anecdotes shared by so many legends of this industry. As a prelude to these stories that we hope will impact your life, it seems appropriate to introduce you to one of the legends, Doug Reid, who is with the oldest and largest MLM company. Before we tell his story, we would like to tell you a little about the man. The night the Gulf War began, you may have seen Doug Reid interviewed on television by Dan Rather. Doug was then serving as Special Assistant to President Bush. He has been quoted in Time, Newsweek, U.S. News and World Report, The Washington Post, The Wall Street Journal, and hundreds of other major publications, and his 26 books have sold over 3 million copies in 15 languages. Except for his 6-year political sabbatical, Doug Reid has dedicated his last 20 years to building his organization, as well as researching and writing about network marketing. Doug has filled auditoriums and soccer stadiums in Poland, Hungary, France, Turkey, the United Kingdom, Australia, Indonesia, and the United States with eager network marketers in just the last year. So what does a legend like Doug Reid do with his money, credibility, time freedom, and power? In 1979, working side by side with Pat Boone and Archbishop Bernard Cardinal Law of Boston, Doug founded what is today one of the world's premier relief organizations, Mercy Corps International. Last year, it distributed $73 million worth of medicine and famine relief to the troubled areas of our world. Let's now visit Doug's first year in network marketing through his own eyes, as he writes powerfully and humorously about his life experiences. Most of us involved in network marketing are gluttons for punishment, subconscious sadomasochists. Basically, we hate ourselves. That's why we get into networking in the first place. We see it as almost guaranteed suffering. I need this. This will really make me feel bad, which I so richly deserve. Wouldn't you know that I would end up successful, making money, traveling the world, meeting presidents, feeding the hungry? See? For me, nothing happens the way it's supposed to. I can't even fail right. In that sense, my early anticipated struggles in network marketing were a disappointment. I had no problem with rejection. I enjoyed every one of them. I was much quicker to respect and identify with the people who turned me down than those rare prospects whom I was actually able to recruit. Each rejection was only positive reaffirmation of my own negative self-image. Likewise, going without food or sleep or money was only what I deserved for making such an arrogant assumption that I could survive in network marketing dreamland. No, for me the very real problem was not physical at all. It wasn't money, it wasn't people, it wasn't product, and it wasn't time. For me the challenge was entirely between my own ears. It still is, incidentally. For me the early struggle was only philosophical. Of course I can do it. Anybody can do it. The question, the very real, nagging, haunting question was, should I do it? Is it right? Is this what I am supposed to be doing with my life? Nothing is more wearisome and draining than self-doubt. Nothing is more effective at stripping off the fine edge from everything you say or do. Nothing can empty your emotional gas tank quicker. In that sense, for the first time in my life, I had met my match. Network marketing, which we see as such a sensitive machine, easily influenced my attitudes, was not a bit impressed with my emotional and psychological drama. It only seemed to crunch numbers like a mindless calculator. The secret for me, I was to learn, was simply to survive and then plod on. Above all, I couldn't quit. Over time, as I slowly fed this monster, it grew and grew exponentially. Believe. You have to believe, they kept telling me. I didn't even have to do that. 2 times 2 equals 4. You don't have to believe it. It is 4 anyway. And my business grew, in spite of myself. Tough? Emotionally, maybe. Spiritually, maybe. But those battles manifest themselves in failure as well as success. Poverty is no refuge for the war-shocked, weary soul. And so I conquered. And with the money, I co-founded Mercy Corps International. Last year, we gave away $73 million in food and medicine around the world. I found my why. We hope this book will help you find your why, too. It is our hope that this book will be given to new network marketers immediately after they sign up in order to warn them of the pitfalls before they lose their initial excitement. Because once it's gone, the chances of ever getting that driving enthusiasm back are virtually nil. The first year in this business is not just challenging. It is more akin to going into combat. It's about survival in the midst of widespread failure. You may not even sense the impending danger, and then all of a sudden you've been ambushed and have lost an entire leg of your downline. One of our primary objectives in writing this book is to take the stealth out of your battles so that you can see your adversaries well in advance, instead of having them creep up and catch you unaware. But equally important is that once you see the clash coming, you are equipped with the necessary skills and tools to win each confrontation and thus survive your first year in MLM. Believe us, in year 1, survival is the name of the game. We know this both from personal experience and from statistics compiled by several companies that suggest well over 60% of all new network marketers quit in their first year, during the most important phase in the learning curve. Given the possibility of earning more each month working from home than a pediatric cardiologist with a staff of 10 earns in a year at his clinic, and it is possible, wouldn't any sane person be willing to invest a year or two studying MLM? And compared to the 12-year learning curve of doctors, isn't a year more palatable? While our industry's attrition rate is perhaps no higher than other professions involving overrides and straight commissions, it is nevertheless critical that we do our best to help new associates anticipate the inevitable conflicts that will arise and equip them with the weapons they'll need to win those battles. It has been suggested that every great MLMer was a lousy MLMer first, and we concur. Unfortunately, it's a fact of life that when any of us first begin a new endeavor, we are, at least initially, vulnerable novices. Although the educational process in network marketing is relatively brief, it can be devastating to many new associates. The main reason is quite simple to understand. We all hate rejection, and none is worse than when we are mocked by friends, family, and acquaintances. It doesn't take very long for people to become discouraged when every day for the first 4 or 5 months they are subjected to eye-rolling ridicule from everyone they know, love, and respect. However, if you know exactly what to expect, and you aren't forced to appear foolish by cajoling, deceiving, or pestering those close to you, network marketing, even in the early stages, is quite fun and relatively painless. Preparation and anticipation are both critical. In this book, we will prepare you for most of the inevitable first-year challenges. We will teach you how to survive those conflicts by providing you with tactics that work. No theories, just facts. Most importantly, by preparing you in advance and sharing practical ways to survive each of these first-year challenges, we want to assist you in persevering. And if you do manage to survive the first year without quitting and without losing your sense of humor, the odds are great that you will continue long enough to become quite wealthy and successful. We've had a tremendous resource pool from which to draw our lessons and examples. For the past several years, we have been fortunate to teach America's only college-level certification course in network marketing with Harvard Ph.D. Charles King at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Many of the top networkers from every company, both in America and abroad, as well as many network marketing CEOs, have attended our classes, and we've spent quality personal time with many of them. As course instructors, we learned a great deal from our students. The experiences we share in this book have all happened, if not specifically to us, then to other leaders who have shared them with us. You'll recognize many of their names. So we feel confident that we've left very few stones unturned in our efforts to teach you the best survival strategies available to first-year distributors. Some of our industry's most successful international leaders survived their first year by utilizing the simple maneuvers laid out for you in this book. Survive your first year, and you've got a tremendous opportunity to join those legends. From Mark's father telling him that he is ruining the family name by doing MLM, to a hungry reporter asking the Attorney General of Nevada to investigate our company in hopes of uncovering a scandal or conflict of interest, while Rene was serving as chairman of the county commission, the two of us have survived some fairly devastating ambushes. We know what it's like to lose 6 of our 7 best leaders to a new upstart scam, that is, a company that misrepresents its earnings and or product efficacy. And we've endured the humiliation of a close friend stealing an entire downline leg. Both of us fell into the management trap at different points in our respective first years, and wound up babysitting people who never would have succeeded no matter what we had done, because they weren't willing to do what we did. Both of us suffered the misplaced personal guilt of signing up a close friend who just couldn't make it in this business. We'll teach you how to survive all of those booby traps. In fact, we'll show you how to avoid them altogether on your path toward achieving all the money you aspire to earn and the time to enjoy it. In our first book, Power Multi-Level Marketing, we presented the theory behind MLM achievement. We tried to provide a paint-by-numbers system for both part-time and full-time success. But in this book, we are vitally concerned with practical applications, that is, with giving specific examples of what can and does happen to cause potentially successful distributors to prematurely end their careers. Many psychiatrists subscribe to the theory that 90% of the solution to any problem consists in the awareness of that problem's existence. We agree. Our fervent hopes and prayers are that by bringing to your attention all the problems that successful network marketers face in their first years, we will enable you to survive yours. We are sharing with you the practical, proven survival tactics used by many of the legends of this industry so that you also can prosper abundantly. We're honored to have Dr. Charles King add a dimension to our book never before available, a quantitative analysis of network marketing from an academic perspective. Much of our most important data has been exhaustively researched and compiled by him. We've learned a great deal about the inner workings and technical marketing strategies of our profession from Dr. King. Many of his overviews are sprinkled throughout this book. His keen insights have been invaluable to us over the years, and his dynamic wife Sandra has directed all of our college certification courses. Nearly 1,000 students have graduated from our course to become network marketing professionals. So many thanks to Charles and Sandra King. Network marketing is indeed the greatest opportunity in the history of capitalism, and we consider ourselves very privileged to be able to participate in the industry. So naturally, when Prima Publishing contacted us about doing a book, not long after its marvelous success publishing Richard Poe's legendary Wave 3 books, we jumped at the opportunity with tremendous enthusiasm. As industry advocates, we believe that when any network marketing company fails, we all suffer. The future survival of our industry depends now on cooperation, not antagonism. Industry-wide success depends on elevating MLM companies and products rather than destroying the reputations, hopes, and dreams of our MLM competitors. Only then will network marketing become the most lucrative profession in all of free enterprise. Some network marketers mistakenly believe that the systematic ruin of their competitors is their best strategy for success. Little do they know that's exactly why they haven't begun to reach their potential. Unlike pioneers of the Old West who circled their wagons to fight off attacks, whenever one or more companies in our industry is threatened, we circle our wagons and fire inward. The old tactic of divide and conquer has been quite effective in the traditional business world. The traditional corporate pyramids have skillfully utilized the media and government regulators to similarly attack and stifle our growing industry, and all along they have hoped and prayed that we'd just go away. But we think it's time for them to stop fighting us. We respect all companies, not just those in our own industry, and we think they should do the same. Spanning our collective 20 years in the field of professional network marketing, we've been blessed to speak to hundreds of thousands of marvelous people in every part of the world. And while we've heard our industry denigrated in a variety of ways, not once have we heard it referred to as the rat race. This graphic description has been used on every continent and translated into every language to depict a traditional business. Rat race literally means a sprint between the world's most deplorable rodents, those who actually wiped out half the population of England during the Black Plague. And what is it they are so steadfastly pursuing? Refuse and rotten grain, in a hopeful pursuit to eat enough to see one more day. If for no other reason than to help people avoid that, we feel that this is a book whose time has come, because the human condition should be a joyous flight among eagles, not a frenzied dash among rodents. Betty Carter, formerly Senior Vice President for the Pacific Stock Exchange, recently shared a graphic comparison between the rat race of traditional business and the freedom of network marketing. In her own words, "When traditional business grows, an entire population can be reduced to rats. I moved to Seattle several years ago because of the quality of life. Today, as two corporations expand, the entire city has been forced into a mindless trek for several hours each day. The average speed on major highways has been reduced to 21 miles per hour. Crime and other societal problems are rising dramatically. No one can yet predict the negative ecological impact of the several thousand-person influx each month, but environmentalists are clearly worried. The point is this: when MLM corporations experience explosive growth, thousands of people go home and soar like eagles. When traditional corporations explode, people from all over the world assume the posture of rats and take to the streets. Thank God network marketing has given me the freedom to run errands during the times when others are confined to their little cubicles, but it will just be a matter of time before I have to look elsewhere for tranquility. We feel we have an awesome responsibility to educate as many people as possible to the fact that they need no longer participate in the god-awful stress of traditional linear business. We wholeheartedly agree with Art Williams, the author of All You Can Do, when he suggests that we should all become crusaders in an effort to save the masses, at least those who will listen, from their headlong pursuit into 80-hour weeks, mediocre incomes, and stress-induced coronaries. Because the American dream has become a nightmare for so many, and because network distribution is such a viable alternative to more traditional business professions, it is incumbent upon those of us who have reaped so much from this industry to begin to sow seeds for others. The book you are now holding in your hands is the Ultimate Survivor's Manual. Thanks to the hundreds of unselfish leaders from diverse and numerous companies who rose to the occasion by contributing their stories, you will learn how to dramatically alter your life. Knowing full well that they would be educating their competitors, they all dared to tell the unadulterated truth about how to succeed in our industry. That kind of unselfishness alone makes us proud to call ourselves network marketers. If only this book had been written a decade ago, we might not have had to witness the unnecessarily hasty retreat of so many dynamic people from our industry who were simply unprepared for the first year's battles. Because of this book, you won't have to endure the same unnecessary losses we did. And there is one promise we will make to you without reservation. There will be times when your eyes will well up with tears, or you'll laugh so hard at some of these legends' anecdotes about their early challenges that, like us, you will have to put the book down until you can wipe the mist from your eyes. These stories are commensurate with ushering in a new industry. We believe the next decade will bring a noticeable decline in these types of challenges, as new technology and distribution channels make way for network marketing in our world. We received countless illustrations and anecdotes, all of which were heartwarming and inspiring. We regret that, due to editorial restrictions, we were unable to include each and every narrative. We want to offer a special thanks to those legends of network marketing who, by sharing their stories, did something unprecedented in business. They dared to admit, after becoming legends, their innermost vulnerabilities and bouts with anxiety and depression, so that millions of others, including their own competitors, might be inspired to exit the 40-year plan and share in the American dream. Enjoy, and whatever else you do in the first year, just don't quit, because surviving is synonymous with thriving in our industry. Mark Yarnell and Rene Reid Yarnell, Gstaad, Switzerland.